Welcome, friends. So I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I've just never done it before because I'm not too afraid, too much self doubt, too much bullshit going through my head. But I've always wanted to make the style of content where I just talk like I would be talking to a friend. So, welcome to my kitchen. This is contrary to popular belief or whatever this may feel like right now. I am not making a cooking vlog, but instead I want to talk about things that I'm passionate about, and especially mental health, because that has been something that I have been working on for years now. And over the last few years, I've been through something very difficult. I had a really big burnout. I've felt more lost than I've ever felt before. I've completely redefined who I am as a person, and I'm not even done yet, and I don't know where I'm going, and all the stuff, all the messy crap that comes with being a human. And I want to start a series where I just talk like you're one of my friends. You're just standing at the edge of the kitchen. You're coming over for dinner. I have some dinner prep to do that I like talking during because I think it's a social activity, and I have some dishes to do. But I'm going to talk to you while I do this and see how it goes, and post a video, and maybe make some friends along the way. I don't know. But anyway, um, I have been doing some stuff. Sorry, I had to check because my phone said, my laptop said that I was getting a call. But 1 second. I realized my laptop wasn't still in the kitchen, but that's just going to be cut out. Yeah, so I don't know if you're curious. I'm just making some chicken. Boring, I know, but I am on a diet because that is one of the parts of the changes that I'm making to my existence right now. I've lost a bunch of weight in the last few months. I think I've lost about 8 kilos. I'm quite proud. Um, but yeah, I will talk about that in a separate video. But what this video is going to be about is it's going to be about feeling lost. That has been something that I have been dealing with for a year and a half now. So I had a pretty massive burnout at the end of 2021. It took me a year, let's say, to recover from the burnout to be in a position where I was able to talk about things or think about things or move forward from the burnout. And one of the feelings that I wasn't expecting to feel at the end of the burnout was this feeling of being lost, like not knowing anymore who the hell I was or why the hell I did the things I did for years and years, and just completely losing the essence of being like this. I had this concrete image of who I was, like what kind of person and what my values were and what I thought my values were or what mattered to me, and all of that suddenly changed at the end of 2021. Everything just felt so artificial at the end of my recovery. I was like, do I go back to what I was? Like, do I just go back to the shit that I went through? Like, am I not going to go back into the same circle? Do I even want to do that? Like, it's not like I didn't want to go back. Like, I think the most interesting part was that the feeling of being lost was so intense that I craved going back to who I was before my burnout. I didn't really realize that there would be such a huge difference between who I was and who I am, who I was now, who I was afterwards. Like I don't know what I'm trying to say. Well, I kind of mean like I was a person, I was a specific person before my burnout. Like there was, my own self image, the person I was. I burnt out, and then after that, I came out being like, who the hell am I? And when you feel that who the hell am I, not like in a one step sit down existential moment, but more in like a comprehensive who the hell am I moment all the time, where the feeling is so intense, where everything that you used to do, everything your days need to surround around, you don't have any values, you don't have something to stand on, like you don't know, okay, like what am I, what is this? Yeah, that feeling was insane. And I was trying to go back to the person I was, but there was clearly something in me that just didn't want that. Like that feeling was absurd. Like I was like, there's no way. Um, that's not who I want to be anymore. Like that's not something I want. And it's kind of hard to talk while thinking about what spices to put in my food, but um, I'm just gonna fuck around and find out literally about the spices. Um, but yeah, that feeling was the worst thing I've ever felt. Let's just say it like that. I thought my burnout. I'm not going to talk too much about my burnout because this video is not about that. But my burnout was primarily focused on the feeling of health anxiety, and trust me, that is intense. Health anxiety is probably one of the worst things I've ever felt, when because you can't trust your own goddamn body and you don't know what's going on, and the uncertainty is killing you. But anyway, I thought that was the worst feeling that I could have experienced. Man, was I wrong. The feeling that you get when you wake up every single day and you don't know who the hell you are or what the hell you stand for, and one second, and you don't know where to go from there, that feeling is wild. Like it's one of the worst things I've ever felt. Like I thought health anxiety was bad, but my god, that feeling was terrible. And I was trying to do anything I could to escape it. Like I wanted to get out of that headspace. I wanted to not feel that way anymore. I wanted to know who I was, what I stood for, what was important to me, all of these things. But those things just don't come to you. And that feeling was something I wanted to escape with all of my being. But man, nothing worked. It was months and months of that agony before something my therapist said made a lot of sense. She said that you have to first be lost to be able to find yourself. Like you cannot find out who you are if you were never lost in the first place. I had realized that a lot of my life until that point, I had lived by perceived standards that I had set on myself to please other people. And I'm talking about society in general, like, all of the things that influence a person's decision to do something or not, because you think that society will like it or people will appreciate it and you're cool and you have status and you have power and this and that and everything. All of those things, the comparison, everything that you hear about on social media, all of that shit, it kind of has a role in defining your own image of yourself, right? But if you've never taken choices for yourself, not because you weren't allowed to, it's just because that's not something you learned or prioritized because you thought you were happy being whoever you thought you wanted to be by society forcing it on you. Um, that was quite when you are happy like that, and until one day you aren't, and suddenly you're at a point in your life where you realize that these feelings are not the feelings I want to feel, and that this is not who I want to be, and but I don't know who I want to be. One second, I'm gonna take out a fucking pan and start heating up my cast iron. I don't usually shake my chicken lab like this because that is a painful ass process of fucking mixing shit around. I have a better strategy. It's a random ass part of the video, but what I usually do is this. One second. And there we go. A lot better stirred chicken. But anyway, as I was saying, when you haven't really ever had the chance to explore who you are as a person, you don't really know what your values are, and suddenly you're thrown in the deep end where everything that you were before, you realize that wasn't who you were, or even that you realize that's not who you want to be, or even if that is who you want to be, you didn't really get there by choice, you were just there. That feeling is quite rough. um, Being lost, truly lost, is difficult, and I mean this in like the most honest way possible, most vulnerable way possible. I felt some difficult things. I'm sure everyone has. Everyone watching this will probably relate in some way because we all go through some difficult stuff. But in my story, the stuff that I'd been through before was nothing like this. Because usually, when you're feeling a certain way, you don't want to feel a certain way. That's how it goes, right? You feel a certain way, you don't like the way it feels, you don't want to feel a certain way. When you're feeling lost, you just want to know who you are, but how? Like what, where, what, how do you know? Everyone's asking you to think about who you are and make choices and make decisions and okay, like, just choose, just do, like just do things you like. But when you feel that level of not knowing who you are, everything feels, you second guess everything. You're like, do I like playing video games? Do I like going to the gym? Do I like fitness? Do I like finance? Do I like this? Do I like, did I really ever like any of this? Or was I just pretending? That was rough. Um, I did not enjoy that. Um, but the whole point, I think I've just spent like the last 10 minutes or whatever just talking about what I didn't enjoy. But what was important is that what I wanted to talk about was that that feeling is necessary. Um, there's a lot of things that people come across on the internet about how you must go to the deepest, darkest depths of wherever, whichever hole you dig yourself into, and then finally, that's when you hit rock bottom is when you can actually start going up. This is the first time I actually experienced that. I'm sure people have hit much worse rock bottoms, and mine was mostly existential. But man, that existential rock bottom was something I needed to hit. I am not even half of the way back up, if there is a top to this hole. But I am definitely not at rock bottom anymore, and I now know the worth of that rock bottom. All I want to say is, if you are heading to that rock bottom or you're there, trust me that this is an important place to be. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not failing. This is not the end all and be all of your existence anymore. It is important to remember that this is just an important part of your journey, a very significant part of that journey. That horrifying feeling of not knowing your purpose, your goals, your existence, why you matter, and what matters to you is a pivotal point in your journey. It's like the wall that you were heading towards that you needed to hit, and you're going to bounce back after. Because only when you have hit that wall and you're feeling all of this do you know that now is the time when you start to find out what is important. Action starts coming to you. You start trying things to figure out who you are. Maybe you sit in this hole for a while. I know I was in that hole for several months, and it was terrible, and I could not have survived it without my friends, my family, and my therapist. um, I needed to talk about it all the time. I was not pleasant to be around. But once I was done sitting in that hole, at some point, just sitting there in that hole made me realize, started to give me insights about what was important to me, what I think is important to me. I still don't know, but that's the whole point. When you're so lost, imagine you've lost your way completely in a forest. You have no idea where to go. You can sit where you are for a while, hoping for help to come, and you can stay there till your supplies last. But at some point, you're going to have to just start trying to move in one direction, right? This is largely the same. You sit there until you can and until it's feasible, but at some point, it's just not feasible anymore. You can't be there anymore. You have to start moving, but you don't start moving in the direction that your life needs to until you sit in that place feeling lost. That's why when I realized that to find out who you are, you need to truly be lost first, it didn't make sense while I was lost. I just said, why the fuck do I have to go through this horrifying experience? But now it truly makes sense. It is such an important aspect of your journey to feel truly lost. And it's not the worst. It is maybe the worst in the moment, but it is so important. So, so important. And if you are truly lost, just give yourself the space to be truly lost. Accept that it's not the end of everything, and that you must feel this way to be able to take the step to stop feeling this way. That is what I wanted to talk about today. Excuse me for all the mistakes I may have made during this video. I want to be raw and authentic. I don't want this to be something that you have a hard time connecting with. I hope this helped. I will be trying to post more things about my journey, but if you have any questions about what I did, in this moment, and I am no, by far not an expert. I am not even close. But if you want to know more, oh shit, my the oil is already smoking. If you want to know more and you want to understand what is important in this journey and what you can do, if you have questions, just let me know. I don't know why I'm trying to make this so much longer. I have clearly burnt my oil and I need to fix that first. But thank you for standing here with me while I cook. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time.